Mr. Chase Young, who makes his debut. He said he will indeed be on a snap count. Of course, as we're talking about star power, what better way to send it back up to you guys?
Look at that. Just the compliments all around.
The 2024 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Chipotle. For real. And by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Well, you talk about picture-perfect weather. Downtown Denver, temperatures expected to get into the mid-80s, but as Aditi mentioned before the game, it feels a whole lot hotter than that down on the field.
Giants defensive woes continue, Bill.
Yeah, first quarter right now, Arizona's got 184 yards, 12 first downs, and this touchdown by Josh Dobbs runs right up the middle for 23 yards. Arizona's up 14-0. Where is the defense, Adam?
America. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, December 20th. And by Papa John's. Try the new garlic epic stuffed crust pizza today.
Well, some of the memories, so much history between these two franchises. Doug Williams and a dominant Washington Super Bowl win over John Elway in Denver. One of 3 black quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. So 14-3 after the 60-yard bomb. Wilson to Marvin Mims Jr. This is what we were just alluding to. Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes on a short list. What company for them? As these two franchises write the latest chapter in their storied history. Just think of the pressure on both Russell Wilson and Sean Payton Arch to get this figured out. Couldn't have scripted a better start.
Well, you can see the pressure in this game so far.
It's incomplete, looking in the direction of Antonio Gibson, but this Denver pressure has been the main headline so far.
That's the biggest difference from a week ago when Garoppolo had the upper hand early. Zach Allen gets a hit on Howell. This time he's got to hold it. Coverage sack in the speed of Gregory coming from that left side. And then the second rounder from last season, Nick Benito, just a speed rush on Charles Leno Jr. So again, the pressure here for me is really the difference in this version of the Broncos defense as opposed to where they were a week ago.
So this kid Mims, the 2nd-round pick out of Oklahoma, 63rd overall, only 14 snaps last week, but they think he is going to be a big part of this offense quickly.
Well, they certainly need players with special skill set when it comes to the long ball.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Pizza Pizza. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Tastes like Miller time. And by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be.
I love it. Broncos super fan Parker the Snow Dog checking out the pretty scenes nearby Georgetown. As we go downstairs to Aditi.
Spiro, September is National Literacy Month, and this week the Broncos hosted a 3-day Scholastic Book Fair at Montview Elementary School. The Broncos donated hundreds of books to the school library, and every student was also able to pick out a few books to bring home. Spiro, over on the sideline after that last Washington offensive drive, Eric Bieniemy gathered his unit. He warned them, stay in character, and he said to his players, everybody just do your job.
Bill, today update back to JB in New York.
Coach, find your best player.
Yeah, that'd be Garrett Wilson. And Zach Wilson found him in his 1st and 10 play action, and once he got behind him, there's no catching him. I mean, right there, 68 yards. Zach Wilson to Garrett Wilson, 10-7 Dallas.
Back to Spiro and Adam.
So long.
Well, yeah, it's important, and certainly I think the thing that jumps out you have to remember when it comes to elite play and coaching, both of these guys are as good as it gets. And Russell, you know, he had the tough season, and sure, there's maybe some things he could have handled better, but at the same time, when a guy like Peyton comes in, or a coach for any position, and you know he knows what he's talking about, that he's putting you in a position to succeed, that in and of itself gives you confidence to play.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report.
And welcome back to our New York studio and the Verizon Halftime Report. It is the official 5G network of the NFL. JB here in Studio 43 with the guys when we're taking them where, Boom?
To the highlights. How about the Jets at the Cowboys? Watch this throw by Zach Wilson. This is why the Jets really like him. Plants his back foot, hits Garrett Wilson in stride. He goes 68 yards. Problem is the Jets only had 24 offensive plays. They did kick a field goal before half to keep it close, but Dak Prescott has been money. 21 of 26, 165 yards, 2 TDs, a couple bad plays by the Jets on penalties, and a dropped interception by Sauce Gardner.
New York Giants at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals quarterback Joshua Dobbs runs 23 yards for the touchdown that put Arizona up 14-0. Then the Giants finally get on the scoreboard. Daniel Jones, nobody open, takes off down the field, 14 yards. Gets the touchdown, first points of the year, 20-7. Then the Cardinals come right back. 3-yard pass to Hollywood Brown. They decide to go for 2. They make it 28-7 Arizona.
NFC West matchup just before halftime, 1 second left. Brock wants to rock. QB sneak. He gets in. It's third quarter now. Tied at 17. Brock Purdy and Matt Stafford playing well.
Russell Wilson in the first half has been a bunch of deep balls. We'd like that. Look at the pocket. He can step right up. We've seen that pass so many times before. This is to Marvin Mims for 60 yards. And then again, you look at the protection. You sit there with Russ, back foot, step up. Marvin Mims, again, his deep threat. Lays it right in the basket right there, 53 yards. And then you get the little crossing route. Again, you look at the time, the protection. Russ is stepping up. He's hitting some big plays. 6 of 8 in the first half. Only 8 attempts, 2 touchdowns right now. But the Washington Commanders are keeping this close. You can see it right there. Averaging 19 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions on the day.
Coach, you know what stood out to me in those highlights is that the Commanders were just rushing 4.
Yeah.
And if you give Russell Wilson time, he's going to be able to drop that bomb down the middle of the field. I mean, he throws one of the prettiest deep balls in football. So if they want to make him uncomfortable, they're going to have to dial up some pressure.
This quarterback, go ahead.
Hey, listen, I think we talked about it at the show today. Coaching can really help players, especially quarterbacks, and Sean Payton. Yeah. I know it's only a game and a half, but it's been really good. And Russell's played well. Sam Howell, oh, my gosh. Protect yourself.
Oh, yeah, but he's playing good. He's playing a tough game.
Taking some shots.
Here's the one thing I will say about Denver. They got to finish this game. They didn't finish last week. Remember, they had the first good half.
Right.
First half was really good last week by them. This week, let's see if they can finish the game against, obviously, a rambunctious
That's on Sean Payton, too. It's not just the players.
Yeah, it's everybody, yes.
And the Commanders, I'll tell you what, they came back fighting right now, and this is going to be a game in the second half right now. Turnovers will be the difference in this game.
All right, thank you for the sizing up in the first half. Hey, folks, it's prime time on the season premiere of 60 Minutes. Coach Prime, that will be Deion Sanders, talks about the best story in football, a star-studded lineup ahead. Coming up tonight on CBS. And as we get ready to head to break, Lashana Tova, the Verizon Halftime Report continues after this.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report. Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
What a picture-perfect Sunday here in Denver as they honor the 25th anniversary of their Super Bowl championship here back in 1998. John Elway among the stars as our halftime coverage continues in Denver. We'll have the second half coming up on CBS. Back with you in Denver as we settle in for the final 2 quarters. Boy, this was a 21-3 Denver lead. Everyone thought that it was basically over. But give the young Commanders all kinds of credit. Second straight week, they go down with a couple of scoring drives late in the first half, and we've got a brand new game. Spiro and Arch, we'll hear from Aditi in just a couple of minutes. Denver, really impressive offensive start, then a couple of ill-timed penalties, missed throw by Russell Wilson. And this kid, Howell, is a resilient kid.
Well, there is no doubt. When this game started, it was all Denver. Everything was going the Denver Bronco way, and Russell Wilson, Sean Payton were on fire as they started the game. Listen, it started from the very first drive of the game. 51 yards on the ground, their first touchdown, and then they just unleashed it. Beautiful bomb to the rookie Mims. Wilson getting outside the pocket, but this is where things changed. Jamin Davis, critical force fumble. How responds. Huge grab in the end zone by Logan Thomas, taking a shot from Kareem Jackson. And then, as you said, right before halftime, again, having the poise to get back down the field and get the field goal. So you love to see that resilience from Washington on the road after getting punched in the mouth. You love the way they were able to close it out.
There's your first half stats. Not a ton in terms of pretty offensive numbers, certainly not from the Commanders. But they get this back to a one-score game as Denver will receive the football, Adam, to begin the third quarter.
I think it's important to understand now it was a very different feel from where they were a week ago against Las Vegas. Russell Wilson in that game also hot. He was 17-19 in the first half. He's only thrown 8 passes in this game, but in the second half last week, only 52 yards. So, hey, as the end of this half, kind of, can they keep that momentum going and start fast in the third quarter?
All right, they'll begin at the 25 as we check back in with Aditi.
Gentlemen, it was a fired-up Ron Rivera heading into the half. He said the defense came up with a big takeaway, the offense punched it in, and that's how you change momentum. His message to his team, we've got ourselves a ball game. Meanwhile, Sean Payton was pretty calm himself. He said, look, we did a lot of very good things, and we're going to build off of that. One more note, Spiro, before I send it back to you. Logan Thomas has indeed been ruled out with a concussion.
So they lose 9 on the sack, 2 more here as we recap their first half possessions.
Yep, and again, Aditi mentioned it when she talked to Ron Rivera after halftime. It was the fumble. It was a takeaway because Denver, again, was driving down the field. They had momentum. But that fumble, they were able to turn it around and capitalize and get back in this game. And what a start so far here to start the third quarter. Defense fired up. Number 94 single-handedly killing the Broncos offense.
Look at their first half possessions. 4 of their 6 drives. They moved the ball down the field. Of course, the botch snap on the early field goal. But they're right where they want to be.
Yep, and really, they did move the ball well. It was when they got inside the 30-yard line on a couple drives, they had a negative play or a penalty, and that's really what took them out of a scoring opportunity. But yes, they have been able to move the ball, but this is a great opportunity. After your defense forces a 3 and out, to go out there and get points.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And by Burger King. Try the new BK Royal Crispy Wraps.
Well, one of the most incredible states in the land, Red Rocks Amphitheater, some of the sights, and able to duck his way inside the 30. Eric Bieniemy, of course, no stranger to this part of the country. About a 30-minute drive from his old stomping grounds in Boulder. Star running back on that national championship team. He was the senior. Vance Joseph was the backup freshman quarterback. 2 guys, of course, they grew up very close to each other in New Orleans. They've known each other for more than 40 years. Just incredible football journeys side by
I used to kill it in NCAA football with that Colorado football team. That was in my time.
Just an incredible story. Actually played Pop Warner ball together in New Orleans as Howell goes back to the air. The 2nd and 8 pass completed to Gibson. Let's get more on the story downstairs with Aditi.
Vance Joseph talked about how competitive Eric Bieniemy was. In fact, he said that Bieniemy had a mean face even when he was in Little League. And Spiro, you just mentioned that they were teammates at Colorado. Vance remembered the very first play he came in as a freshman. He said the first thing Bieniemy said to him was, "Don't screw this up."
Yeah, Aditi, he added a little expletive in there, but it's a family program. Retaking the lead. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS Week 3 slate features the next chapter of the AFC East rivalry between the Patriots and the Jets, as well as these Broncos taking on the Dolphins. We'll get you set for kickoff beginning at noon Eastern with JB and the fellas on the NFL Today. The NFL is on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
You can have contact if you keep your arms in.
Archie, just look at what he's done. 3 straight years of 1,000 yards, and you just consider the instability that they've had at the quarterback position. Just amazing what he's been able to accomplish. Game.
Yeah.
Boy, do they have some magic up their sleeve here. How about some early headlines around the NFL on this, the second Sunday of the young season? Huge bounce back game for Josh Allen. 3 touchdowns and a Bills win. And a big one for Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Travis Kelce scores in his debut. And the Baltimore Ravens off to a 2-0 start. March, how about the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah.
First 2-0 start for them in 6 years.
How about the Ravens with all the injuries? I mean, it could have been devastating. They go out and beat Cincinnati.
Impressive start. Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson, worst season of his career. Everything riding on those two. And this has been a real Achilles heel for them. These 1-score games since the beginning of last season, just 4-10. Including that 1-point loss to the Raiders here at home last week.
And you think about Russell Wilson when he was at his best. Peak Russell Wilson was so good in these moments. That's the guy they need to show up here in the 4th quarter.
Back in with Aditi.
Spiro, Arch talks about the decision-making that Howell made. In fact, Ron Rivera told us that it was his decision-making during those joint practices with Baltimore that really made him he could be the starter. And you know what? Rivera and Terry McLaurin both talked about how stoic he is, how cerebral he is, how level he is, how even when things are going bad, he stays calm. He is the classic coach's son. Although I will say, on the morning of his birthday, his coach father did not say happy birthday to him first thing yesterday. Spiro, he told him the score of the game that he had just coached.
Yeah, what was it, 42-0 as Sam Cosmi being tended to for his first touch. NFL Today update, back to JB in New York.
Giants had trailed by 21, Bill.
Yeah, Graham Gano hits his 34-yard field goal with 19 seconds left to go. It gives the Giants their first lead of the season and of the game. They lead 31-28.
Spiro, Adam, and Aditi.
And once again, Russell Wilson and company will have it at the 25. Saturday, it's a huge day of college football on CBS at 3:30 Eastern. The SEC on CBS will feature number 15, Ole Miss, and number 13, Alabama. Then at prime time, it's a Big Ten matchup in Happy Valley. Number 24, Iowa, and number 7, Penn State. It all begins at 2:30 with the drive to Atlanta, and that'll be followed by college football today. That's next Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. So Russell Wilson's batted down and incomplete. Intended for Sutton. And the Washington Commanders hold on here in Denver. No flags.
This is so well played by St. Juice. He sees Sutton coming from the other side of the field. He stays home in his zone. He's there to see the football and makes a huge play.
Arch, boy, there was a little bit of premature contact. Gene Steratore off air thought that there was enough there for the pass interference. No flags. And it is all over in a thriller here in Denver. The Washington Commanders erase an 18-point deficit, and they are 2-0 to start a season for the first time in 12 years. 35-33 your final. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by Yellowstone and Big Brother. Now for Adam Aditi, Gene Steratore, Spiro Aditi saying so long from Denver. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 58.